Boise, Idaho's horrible weather. Let's talk about it. Today we're going to find out what the weather is like here, what is so horrible about it, how it will impact you, and what to do about it. First, Boise's weather is a big change for a lot of people, and oftentimes they don't truly know what the weather is like here. There are many times where this happens and people end up leaving Boise because they didn't fully understand what the weather was like and how it would impact them. Now, we have 4 full seasons here. The spring is a beautiful time, even though sometimes winter can creep into spring late. But once spring gets here, there are 65 to 70 degree days with beautiful cherry blossom trees that are in most parts of the valley. And most subdivisions here have great landscaping, so most places you live expect to have beautiful drives in and out of your neighborhood every single day. The cherry blossoms are most apparent in downtown Caldwell, where there is a beautiful creek called Indian Creek and walking path to enjoy some of those cherry blossoms in the spring. Some people can be annoyed with the spring though, because we do get afternoon rainstorms and it can snow and be cold, and then 60 for a week, and then snow and be cold for a week, and that can last all the way into early and mid-April. But this isn't what can make Boise's weather miserable, which we will go over, but I just want to first give you guys a good understanding of kind of what the weather is like and what you can expect. So spring bleeds into mid-June, and then summer gets started here around that same time, where we start having 90-degree weather until about mid-July, where it can be 100 degrees for a few weeks, and some summers that can last a full month or more. Once the heat wave ends in around mid to late August, you start getting the fall weather, which is one of the best times of year here. It is 70 to 80 degrees without those rainstorms that you had in the spring, and this sticks around until mid to late October depending on the year. Halloween might be 70 degrees, or it has been as cold as 20 degrees, but on average it's about 55 come Halloween. And then this is when it starts transitioning into winter, which is where some of that horrible weather that people experience comes in. But before that, my name is Brady Fagel. I am a Boise local and real estate agent. I post videos every week, so subscribe to the channel if you want to learn everything about Boise and to be fully prepared for moving here. Shoot me a text or a call anytime. I love to help you in your relocation to Boise, and make sure you are fully prepared and know Boise will be the perfect fit for you, because sometimes it isn't. Regardless, we want to make sure you know things like the horrible weather that can start in the winter. Boise has 35-degree temperatures on average in the winter, and we get around 5 days where there's a few inches of snow, and it is enough to actually impact travel and your daily life. This can be a problem for some people, and we will talk about how the weather can impact you at the end. But I think where people feel the weather sucks is when we have weeks of cloudy conditions along with the sunsets at 4:30. You can go to work in the dark, and then when you look out the window all day, it is gloomy and cloudy, all just to drive home in the dark. And these are what we call inversions, and they can last weeks. It gets draining for people who move here and make the winter feel much longer than it already is. Another tough part about the weather is definitely the summers here. Most people worry about the snow, cold, and the darkness that is in the winter, but they move here and don't realize how hot and dry it can be in the summers. When my wife moved here, this was actually the biggest thing she hated about Boise. The weeks of 100-degree heat and the dryness of Boise being a desert here is more than people expect. And during that time, we also have fire season, and smoke gets thrown into the mix of all of that heat. So you can have canceled sporting events, making it hard to even go outside. Whereas at least in the winter, when there isn't inversions, you can throw on a coat and take a walk. So by far, the things that people are most unprepared for is the inversions and the long winters and the dryness and the heat in the summers. Now, how does this affect you, and what can you actually do about it? Well, in the summer, thankfully, Boise has the Boise River, you can grab a tube and float it for most of the summer. Or if you just want to grab a chair and some food, you can go to Eagle or Boise and you can put your chair on the banks and cool off in the river. Boise also has Roaring Springs Water Park, which is really great for the kids and honestly a fun time for everyone. You can escape to the mountains, which is either Lucky Peak, which is only a 30-minute drive, to do some boating or swimming in the reservoir. Or if you want to drive a little farther, you can go up to McCall, which is by far probably the most popular thing to do in the summer, and spend some time up there camping, boating, shopping, and enjoy that 10 to 15 degree lower temperatures there in McCall and Cascade. In the winter, you can combat the cold with, of course, a coat, but really the only thing to avoid the inversions and the short days is you can get a sun lamp to kind of help with that mood in your house. You can make sure you're staying active, which Boise has a great fitness and health culture. There is cycle bars, there's F45s and gyms on almost every corner. Or you can go to the indoor pickleball courts we have, which is growing a lot in popularity here in the Valley. And of course, all of the ski resorts that we have within an hour or two of Boise. We have Bogus Basin, which is a 30-minute drive, and then we have Tamarack and McCall, and then Sun Valley, Idaho, which is about a 3.5 hour drive, also has a ton of ski resorts. When it comes to the road conditions and snow, there's not a real need to buy a four-wheel drive vehicle. If you grab some good snow tires, you will be fine. If you can afford the four-wheel drive vehicle and you really want to, go ahead, but the necessity is really only the snow tires and you will be fine. But to truly see how the winter and the roads are going to affect you, it either really takes experiencing it for yourself or watching this video here where I show you a snowy day in Boise and what the roads are like. And thank you to everyone who watches these videos. I look forward to chatting with you in person, and we'll see you next time.